And welcome to Nationwide on Africa's largest television network, NTA. I am Ere John. Gas explosion this morning at a fuel station in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, killed 2 people and destroyed 15 vehicles. Joshua Kigbu reports that the injured are at Dalhatu Arf Specialist Hospital for treatment.
Findings show the explosion is traced to a cylinder left leaking for many days.
I just came to the front to see what happened. About coming, that I heard the sound of the fire. Boom!
It was doubting for fire servicemen to bring the situation under control. Among the dead is 2-year-old, as 40 injured are receiving treatment at the State Premier Health Center. A breakdown of property lost include 9 cars, 2 tricycles and 4 motorcycles. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Silas Agara, visited the accident scene and the injured. In Lafia, Joshua Kibu, NTA News.
Following the recent earth tremor witnessed in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, experts on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, have decried the lack of forecast equipment and evacuation centers for emergency situations. They say the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency and other relevant agencies of government should be urgently equipped to carry out their mandate, especially on early warning. Abdusalam Jubril has details.
Natural disasters such as earth tremors and earthquakes are unusual to Nigerians. As such, the underground vibrations witnessed in Pape and Metama district caused panic among residents of these areas and within the Federal Capital Territory. While addressing the issue, guests on Good Morning Nigeria welcomed the suspension of mining and quarry activities and advocated thorough investigation and data collection in order to mitigate the effects of a future occurrence.
Long, medium, and short-term research for us to be able to predict the nature of earthquakes that could happen in a particular place.
What Development Control are trying to do is to engage the services of the consultant to go there and access the buildings to check whether there is cracks or deflection.
While speaking on several factors responsible for the tremor, the guest noted that precautionary measures are imperative.
We have to take precautionary measures and try to do a detailed study to be able to know what is actually happening in Nigeria.
Emergency response is a case of collaborations. You have to bring in all the experts in different fields.
They also called for the regulation of mining and rock blasting activities to forestall future disasters and ensure the safety of the environment. In Abuja, Abdusalam Jubril, NTA News.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has restated commitment on strengthening existing roles and responsibilities towards addressing the prevalent disasters and other challenges. Head of Operation in Sokoto, Suleiman Mohammed, stated this at an interactive meeting with stakeholders on disaster management held in Sokoto. Abdurrahman Osman reports.
Disaster incidents have continued to increase recently, especially among vulnerable communities with no quick response to minimize loss, to ensure timely and effective response to such emergencies and enhance grassroots participation in disaster management. The National Emergency Management Agency Sokoto office brainstormed with relevant stakeholders to provide solutions to such leakages. Head of Operations Suleiman Mohammed described the forum as an avenue to discuss how to bring together humanitarian actions, provide synergy, ease coordination, and ensure effective service delivery. Commanding Officer 119 Forward Operations Base Sokoto, Group Captain Jibril Usman, said the disaster unit in the base has rendered tremendous rescue missions in areas of flooding and fire outbreaks.
We do like awareness campaign if you realize most of the roads have no drainages, and you see people seeing roads as a refuse dump.
Director General Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency Ibrahim Haliru Dingyadi and Director General Sokoto State Fire Service Murtala Muhammad enumerated some of the interventions to include the recent armed banditry attacks in Tabani village of Rapa local government and the flooding in Makwana village and other neighboring communities in Sabon Birni local government area. In Sokoto, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
And still on environment, Nigeria is to begin comprehensive conduct of technology needs assessment for climate change. This is after an inspection workshop to help build important links among climate change stakeholders in the country that will help to enhance the capacity of Nigeria in adopting environmentally sustainable technologies. Justin Bem-Onyi reports that the effort is in collaboration with the Federal Ministries of Science and Technology and Environment.
Climate change is now among the most daunting environmental issues affecting the globe. In Nigeria today, the devastating impacts of climate change is already being felt from a range of indicators like drought, desertification, soil erosion, rising sea levels, and resulting farmers-herders conflicts across the country. Now, the federal government wants an understanding of the climate technology needs as a start point for effective action on climate change.
Climate change is not something that we should be afraid of. We must confront it. We must utilize our knowledge. We must use science, technology, and innovation to ameliorate it and even convert it into creating opportunities for both economic and social development.
The deployment of project pilots to the sectors identified in the technology needs assessment country's report will help Nigeria in achieving the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions unconditionally by 20% and conditionally by 45% in line with Nigeria's national determined contribution and also in line with the country's endorsement of the Paris Climate Change Agreement.
Development partners have expressed readiness to support the drive.
The New Country program has a huge room and capacity to support climate change management in Nigeria.
Technology needs assessment processes in Nigeria in this workshop becomes very, very crucial to be able to drive transformational change for people and planet. But rather than doing this in silos, it is important to see this as part of an inclusive process. Technology as an enabler to drive transformational change.
The Inception Workshop also marks the formal inauguration of the Technology Needs Assessment National Team, which will perform the oversight function of successfully putting in place the country's Technology Needs Assessments Report for eventual implementation. In Abuja, Justin Bem-Onyi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Justin. And away from environment, now talking security, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has attributed success recorded in Zamfara State in curbing armed bandits, cattle rustling and other criminal activities to the collaboration among the security agencies in the country. The minister was speaking at a special town hall meeting on federal government measures to curb killings held in Zamfara State. He called on security agencies to sustain the tempo and enjoin Nigerians to provide useful information to relevant authorities so as to win the war against banditry and terrorism in the country.
The killings that we have witnessed in the country have nothing to do with ethnicity or religion. We are dealing with the fallout of demography, environment, climate change, and pure criminality, and the neglect of several years of banditry.
The guest speaker, Dr. Abubakar Sadiq Mohammed, in his paper entitled Real Interpretation and Farmer Headers Crisis, called on stakeholders to look beyond manipulation and strive for development rather than bias or sectional issues. This is our first port of call, where Nigeria hosts African travel market. Jennifer is our guide.
Cultural diplomacy as a tool for attracting investors to grow the tourism sector. This is at a 3-day African Travel Market Conference holding in Lagos. Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, with a population of about 180 million people, has diverse eco-tourism potential. It therefore remains a robust market destination for the tourism sector. The hosting rights for the Conference of African Travel Markets, tagged Akwaba, which means welcome in Ghanaian language, is considered apt, as it is coming on the heels of government's resolve to make the sector a major revenue earner.
We're doing about 4.6 constant to our GDP. But you see, only that we've not been able to talk to ourselves. This sector have increased to 11.5, which is constant in the last 6 months.
In the various stands, participating countries showcased their tourism assets, detailing the travel spots in pamphlet, archival, and electronic appliances. For effect, a splash of Carnival Calabar and a command performance by Lagos cultural troops thrilled the audience.
It's an avenue to drive inbound tourism within African continent.
Also on display were made in Nigeria costumes, cosmetics, and packaged foods. Free clinic for skill acquisition was well patronized at the nation's stand. The conference on African travel market, which is the 14th in the series, is a multinational, multicultural, and multi-agent platform that showcased the beauty of African cultural heritage and tourism. In Lagos, Mohammed Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
As the world marks Literacy Day, a group promoting the cause of widows is canvassing for the establishment of scholarship scheme and skill acquisition centers as catalysts to increasing the nation's literacy rate. Michael Olaleye reports that the virtuous widows took a walk round strategic locations in Lagos to commemorate International Literacy Day.
Records from the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that Nigeria has an average literacy rate of over 40%, with 17.5 million of this figure either orphans or vulnerable children. In ensuring that this set of children, especially children of widows, realize their dreams, 56-years-old Ifeyinwa Egbo Shuiba has been canvassing for better education for them since she lost her husband in 2007.
We need more good teachers in the school so that we too can be carried along. We need good education in Nigeria, more than food even.
With this year's Literacy Day coinciding with school resumption, only these women know where the shoe pinched.
We no get money, we no get helper. Our husband, them, the family, that don't collect wetin belong to us. So we no fit, we don't leave our children for us. We no fit carry wetin Papa and Mama go carry. The load, they heavy for us.
As a mother who's now acting as a father, you know, it's not easy. Because I have to go extra mile to make sure that I provide for these children.
They are advocating for conducive learning environment and favorable policy to support their cause.
The government should come in and help these widows in the area of skill development and also scholarship for their children.
The theme for this year's Literacy Day literacy and skills development is encouraging individuals to acquire learning skills as tool for sustainable economic growth. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Now, those are the stories making the rounds in Lagos at this hour. The news continues shortly after this break.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Prosecution of electoral offences is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Electoral offences in the polity. All sides of the coin with key stakeholders on NTA Tuesday Live. It promises to be educating and exciting. Join us.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria, junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. For more information, please call the following numbers. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
Buhari can't wake me for death. As my matter be, it be like he say, person die, person God he can't wake him. Now so Buhari can't wake me from death. But I not get something when they go give her unless thank you. I did get change to make farm. Then he helped me house. The house when I did before, he dey link. Before I born, 5 pikin. You know, I don't get food when I go give them. That's why I share them. But now my pikin they near me. Sunday with me now. No be like before. I happy. I thank you. I no see him, but God go carry my I do a go with her where I dey.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Good to have you back. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, says his country is determined to increase its yearly investment in Nigeria worth £4.8 billion to £8 billion by 2030. He dropped this hint during a roundtable discussion with management of Sokoto Investment Company. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila completes the story.
The roundtable discussion was an opportunity for British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, and leadership of the Sokoto Investment Company to discuss on investment and job creation in the areas of agriculture, leather production and mining. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, said UK has £41 billion worth of investment in Africa and is willing to increase it to create more job opportunities. He said UK is working to become #1 foreign investor in Nigeria, appreciating efforts by Nigerian government towards creating a favorable environment for investors.
We want to ensure that the right kind of investments come in. Part of that is ensuring that the business environment is also helping to encourage and give confidence to investors.
Chairman, Sokoto Investment Company, Tukur Umar, and Managing Director of the company, Buhari Dasuki, described the decision of the UK to invest in Sokoto as a welcome development that will boost agriculture and leather production.
The main focus of the company is to leverage on our position to tap into the resources, opportunities that exist in trade between Nigeria and Sokoto in particular and the UK companies.
British High Commissioner to Nigeria has also visited Governor Amin Waziri Tambol and Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar to explore areas of cooperation in agriculture, mining, leather production, and fostering unity among Nigerians. In Sokoto, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Experts in risk management are seeking a regulatory framework that will promote better management of resources in the country. This is coming on the heels of the country's continuous improvement in many sectors of the economy, which they say should be consolidated upon. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
Since the inception of the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, the campaign on the diversification of the economy has been on the forefront. That has encouraged many professionals to make inputs that they feel will facilitate the attainment of the objective. Now, the experts on risk management want the government to look at management of risk seriously. This, they argue, will eliminate wastage and abandonment of projects in the country.
Actually, there has been a vacuum in the area of risk management in Nigeria. We don't have it as programs of study in universities, so because of that, we lack professionals in that area.
And there's need for federal government of Nigeria to set up risk management commission, just as we have Accountant General of the Federation, Debt Management Office.
One of the major problems that we now are encountering in Nigeria, a result of negligence of the consideration of the risk management strategies in our nation building.
As a way forward, introduction of risk management in the country's educational institutions from the elementary to tertiary levels have been suggested. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Following the inauguration of the Trader Money Scheme by the federal government, the scheme has been lauded as one of the most innovative social investment programs launched so far by the Buhari-led administration to empower petty traders and artisans in Nigeria. Speaking on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, the Chief Operating Officer, Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, Uzoma Nwagba, noted that the scheme provides loans for petty traders without collateral or interest, targeting about 2 million traders nationwide this year.
Most of them are not existing in the banking records. They don't have a financial history that can be tracked. So they just go about continuing to feed, go from day to day, just eking out a living with very little capital. So the purpose of this project is to go to these demographics and give them the empowerment through capital to grow their businesses.
Contrary to claim that the scheme was being used as political tool, Uzoma Nwagba clarified that the scheme is strictly for the benefit of petty traders and to empower the poorest of the poor.
No requirement. In fact, no enumerator asks people for their PVCs or their political affiliations. It's not part of the requirement to be a trader money beneficiary. Okay. You just need to be a trader and a Nigerian.
And away from business, now talking politics, new officials to run the affairs of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, the umbrella body of registered political parties in Nigeria, for the next 1 year, have taken oath of office. Linda Ogidi reports that the low-key event was held at INEC Electoral Institute.
There are major reasons why IPAC is formed, and let's not deviate from that. Apart from the fact that it helps political parties to gather and aggregate opinions, it also helps is that we must be able to work how we can work to make sure that the electoral system is free, fair, and credible at all times.
PAC is a voluntary organization. It's for people, all the parties agreed on their own to subscribe to a code of conduct. So you don't have police. You don't have, the only thing that you can gather everybody is moral persuasion. So it's by ensuring that the welfare of all members are carried on.
To communicate decisions of IPAC to the public and also to help to project a good image of IPAC. And for this new leadership, we have an agenda to have an IPAC that is focusing keenly on the key issues of credible, transparent and fair election.
The new officials urged Nigerians to participate fully in the electoral process and be peaceful in their conduct. They also called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to remain unbiased as electoral umpire before and during the conduct of the 2019 general elections. You're still watching Nationwide. Kaduna is our next stop.
Welcome to Kaduna Network Center. I am Ruqayya Umar Farouk. The 2018 Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition is underway at the 1 Division Nigerian Army, Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun reports that General Officer Commanding 1 Division, Major General Muhammad Muhammad, declared the competition open at Ribadu Cantonment, Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna.
The competition is an annual event organized by the 1 Division Nigerian Army for brigades under its command to showcase their talent and compete in various combat units such as stripping and assembling of rifles, shooting and weapon handling, map reading and swimming, among other areas of strength. 3 brigades are participating in the competition. Aside winning the competition, the General Officer Commanding said the aim is to develop the physical and mental fitness of the Army officers to enable them put in their best in defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria.
At your level of command, it is required that you are also proficient so that the subordinates who follow you will have the confidence of following you.
50 Army officers are participating in the competition that ends on Thursday. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, NTA News.
Federal government is targeting about 11.5 million out-of-school children in the country for enrollment into the Universal Basic Education Program. To achieve this, the Commission has organized a strategic meeting in Kano at workout modalities to ensure effective coverage through advocacy and social mobilization. Fatima Sanusi-Arai has details.
Nigeria, like any other country, is grappling with social problems retarding its progress. Education is one sector that governments at all levels are trying to improve through various strategies. Out-of-school children is a phenomenon that defies solution despite concerted efforts. Data available shows Nigeria is battling with 11.5 million out-of-school children. This prompted stakeholders to converge on Kano to profile a solution.
The entire purpose, the overall purpose, is to facilitate the delivery of basic education through partnership and social mobilization.
The meeting also provided platform for various stakeholders to make positive contributions toward adopting a uniform approach in policy implementation by the 36 states Universal Basic Education Board.
We are sure that they are going to give us the instrument with which to work with. The knowledge we are going to acquire here will help us to discharge our work in our various departments to achieve best practices and improve and enhance our capacity and skills so that we can go and deliver in our respective states.
They stress the need for involvement of traditional religious and political institutions in pushing universal basic education delivery in the country. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi-Arai, NTA News.
This is Nationwide, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. More stories after this commercial timeout.
Festival 2018 Abuja. Theme:
Archiving for Creativity. Date, December 1st to 7th, 2018. Featuring film screenings, masterclasses, special tributes, NFC Annual Film Lecture, NFC Annual Essay Competition Awards, special national and state days, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Zuma Film Festival 2018 Awards. Submission of entries for non-competition, competition and screening is ongoing and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation, headquarters in Jos, and or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja, or through the Film Freeway online platform, www.filmfreeway.com. For further inquiries, call 0033146842, 08052728321, or 08063390420, or visit the website www.zumafilmfest.gov.ng. Zuma Film Festival 2018, December 1st to 7th, Abuja, Nigerian's foremost film festival.
Do you have Yamala? Yes. And Abula? Yes, sir. Black or white? Yamala. Have I ever eaten white Amala here before? Yes, sir. Give me Amala and Abula. Do you have Dodo? Dodo ground. Good. Let me have some Dodo. I want to put the meat in a bowl. Shaki. Shuku. Above it, I like my edo to be very tender. You have stockfish? Yes, sir. Good. Let's have some stock. And catfish, my favorite. Don't mind them. You have eggs. I would like 6 boiled eggs. No eggs. Okay, catfish will do. And then rice. Rice and then some salmon. Look. Do you have a guru?
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Good to have you back. Towards promoting professional excellence in airport management and operations, Airport Council International is in Abuja for the periodic examination on security and safety of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, after it was certified last year. Emmanuel Ayemiro reports that the inspection will last for 5 days.
Airports Council International is set up to foster cooperation among airports across the globe. It assists airports in developing countries with trainings in human resources development. This it does after knowing the areas that require improvement, which the team hopes to provide as recommendation after their findings at the Abuja airport.
We're here to work hand in hand with our colleagues from FAN to see whether we can improve and to see if we can pick some best practices to be duplicated in other airports.
It's a welcome development that from time to time we are being checked to ensure that you sustain your certification. We hope to listen to them, work with them. Whatever observations they do, we accept and we correct ourselves accordingly.
The council has already visited Enugu Airport, Kaduna and Lagos, where recommendations were made on areas requiring improvement. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Suleiman Zakari Kazauri, has encouraged Corps members to take advantage of skill acquisition programs for self-reliance. He stated this during an inspection of facilities at Magaji Dayan Musa NYC Orientation Camp, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Agatha Joseph Obioha has the details.
The Director General
National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Suleiman Zakari Kazore went around facilities at the camp to have on-the-spot assessment, calling on corps members to take advantage of skill acquisition programs in order not to rely on white-collar job. He also advised the corps members to be security cautious and shun social vices.
The corps members, of recent, they improved the feeding allowance of the corps members. They also improved the transport allowance of the corps members. And a lot of, like if you look at also their accommodation, like we are trying to see if the state government can come to our aid to establish colleges in all the local government operation.
State Coordinator, NYSC Nasarawa State, Zainab Isa, commended the DG for inspecting facilities in the camps across the country and the welfare of corps members.
I wish to thank you most sincerely for the complete renovation of the camp multipurpose hall for the comfort of staff and corps members.
The corps members entertained the DG with animated performance. From Kefi, Agatha Joseph Obioha, NTA News.
And moving to Kano now, the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari remains top priority to Kano State chapter of the All Progressives Congress and the state government, which led to the inauguration of the Buhari Ganduje volunteer groups in the 44 local government areas in the state. Abdullahi Mustafa reports that Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, while inaugurating the groups, gave them marching order to ensure the success of the party in all elections.
APC Volunteer Group is a coalition of the supporters of President Muhammadu Buhari working towards actualization of his re-election in the upcoming general elections. Its membership cuts across various segments of the society who believe in the anti-corruption and economic revitalization agenda of the president. Governor Abdullah Umar Ganduje, while inaugurating the state chapter of the group, said its formation is an indication that people are appreciating the positive changes brought about by President Muhammadu Buhari in Kano State. As volunteers, he advised members of the group to make meaningful contributions towards successful conduct of the direct primaries in the APC. Dr. Ganduje believes that the APC volunteer group has a vital role to play in creating awareness among the electorate. The governor assured of adequate support and cooperation to any group working towards actualizing a better Nigeria being championed by President Buhari. National coordinator of the APC volunteer group, Usman Alhaji, said, in addition to supporting the president, members believe in producing patriotic leaders who have respect for human dignity. Meanwhile, about 30 groups under the auspices of 1 to 10 Buhari Support Organization have purchased and donated a governorship nomination form to Governor Abdullah Umar Ganduje. Kano State Coordinator of the group, Jazuli Abdul Karim Dayabu, said this is in appreciation of the governor's numerous achievements and support for President Muhammadu Buhari. The governor, who thanked members of the various groups for the gesture, said this will encourage him to do more if re-elected in 2019. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And on agriculture, research institutions with the support of commodity marketing boards and extension services were the backbone behind agricultural development, especially cash crops like cocoa, cotton, groundnut, palm kernel, rubber, among other cash crops in the 60s, 70s and 80s. Agriculturists are of the view that scrapping the marketing boards and inadequate funding are responsible for the decline of cash crops output from Nigeria. This forms part of the findings of Musa Baba Aliu in this special report.
Commodity Marketing Board were established in 1997 under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, primarily to supply farming inputs and offtake farmers' produce at fixed prices and store it for local consumption and for exports. There were 6 commodity boards. They include the Nigerian Cocoa Board, Nigerian Groundnut Board, Nigerian Cotton Board, Nigerian Palm Produce Board, Nigerian Rubber Board, and the Nigerian Grains Board, apart from extension services to equip farmers with modern farming techniques, the boards also arranged overseas trading partners to buy the produce with strict adherence to high-quality production. This has rated Nigeria among the world's largest producers of cotton, cocoa, palm kernel, rubber, among other staples. It also boosted the revenue generation of the country, which was used to build infrastructure such as roads, schools, and health care facilities. In 1986, the federal government abolished the marketing boards due to what it terms corruption in the sector. This development, laced with environmental challenges such as soil degradation, aging cocoa and rubber trees, low prices, smuggling, and labor shortages have been the major challenges facing cash crop production in Nigeria.
There is no even guarantee in the uptake of the produce produced. Today you will see the price will go up, tomorrow the price will come down. There is no even margin.
When a cocoa farmer, a cashew farmer, is owing the bank so much, all he wants to do is that whatever he can get from his crop, he wants to export quick, to at least reduce the pressures of the banks on him.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ubge, says the federal government, under its Green Alternative, has identified challenges affecting cash crops production, and efforts are underway to boost their production, especially for the international market.
It means importation of machinery from reputable companies abroad, the setting up of these machines in villages for communities, palm oil processing, palm kernel processing, palm kernel oil processing, and even the palm kernel shell.
If one commodity to one country can earn us $35 million US, if you can target another commodity, say 10 other commodities, say even if they are giving us $30 million US, 10, that will be $300 million US just for 10 commodities.
The government has commenced production, distribution, and plantation of cotton seeds, as well as palm and rubber trees in all the geopolitical zones of the country. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Musa. Rubber cash crop in time past served as one of the largest income earner in Cross River State. Justina Etim examines the present state of rubber cultivation in the zone and its economic potential.
In the past, Nigeria was among the leading exporter of rubber, with a bulk of this cash crop being cultivated in Cross River State. The rubber tree is propagated for its fluid called latex, which is the primary source of natural rubber that could serve as the largest foreign exchange earner for Nigeria. Rubber is one of the most used agricultural commodity, as it finds its way into every industry, ranging from automobile, aviation, education, health, sports, engineering, and domestic products.
Now the patronage is still high. There's no time that the supply has been more than the demand.
Despite its versatility, cultivation of the rubber crop has continued to decline due to its long gestation period, which requires huge capital and low or interest-free loans to manage. In a bid to encourage local farmers to embrace rubber propagation, the Cross River State government has raised about 100,000 rubber seedlings ready for distribution to interested farmers.
There is a private group of rubber farmers that we're working with. And so the idea was to make sure we use this group to further disseminate the information that, okay, they can have improved rubber seedlings for planting in their private farms.
With dwindling revenue from the oil sector, stakeholders say there is need for collaborative efforts between government and the private sector, exploring the economic potentials of this agricultural commodity for job creation and national development. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
And staying with agriculture, Akwa Ibom is one of the 6 states in the South-South region known for palm cultivation. Over the years, this cash crop served as major revenue earner, not just for the state, but the country at large. Worrisome, however, is the current state of palm cultivation, with stakeholders in the agriculture sector say has suffered neglect despite its huge economic benefits. Charity James reports. That report will be brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. The Option A4 system of primary election has resurfaced again in Nigeria's political arena as the Young Progressive Party, YPP, held its maiden national convention and presidential primary election in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
What I've been trying to do is to change the mentality of our people, to change the perception that money is all you need for investment. That is not correct.
We sincerely apologize for the poor audio in that report. Moving on, the National Environment Sustainability Project aimed at creating awareness and bringing stakeholders on board to support community-based approach in waste management and its utilization for wealth creation has been flagged off in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Joshua Ojiti reports that the Minister of State for Environment, Ibrahim Osman Jibrin, says the initiative is part of addressing the growing challenges of urbanization. You're still watching Nationwide on NTA. We shall go for a break now. The news returns shortly.
Film Festival 2018 Abuja. Theme: Archiving for Creativity. Date: December 1st to 7th, 2018. Featuring film screenings, masterclasses, special tributes, NFC Annual Film Lecture, NFC Annual Essay Competition Awards, special national and state days, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Zuma Film Festival 2018 Awards. Submission of entries for non-competition, competition and screening is ongoing and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation, headquarters in Jos, and/or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja, or through the Film Freeway online platform, www.filmfreeway.com. For further inquiries, call 0033146842, 08052728321, or 08063390420, or visit the website www.zumafilmfest.gov.ng. Zuma Film Festival 2018, December 1st to 7th, Abuja, Nigerian's foremost film festival.
Yeah, Modena. Do you have amala? Yes. And amala? Yes, sir. Black or white? Yamala. Have I ever eaten white amala here before? Yes, sir. Give me amala and amala. Do you have dodo? Dodo ground. Good. Let me have some dodo. I want to put the meat in a bowl. Shaki. Shuku. Above it, I like my edo to be very tender. You have stockfish? Yes, sir. Good. Let's have some stockfish. And catfish, my favorite. Don't mind them. Look, you have eggs. I would like 6 boiled eggs. No eggs. Okay, catfish will do. And then rice. Rice and then some salad. Look. Do you have a guru?
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Many thanks for staying. Fake news and hate speech continue to be considered as possible threats to democracy. Communication experts, however, believe this can be addressed through consistent training. Ameze Igebo reports.
Due to economic pressure, editorial oversight and effective leadership in the newsroom have declined and the newsgate has become more porous. This challenge in the conventional newsrooms is aggravated by the surge of the new media, likely synonymous with the trend of fake news pervading the information sources in the country. Worried by this dangerous trend to the sustenance of democracy in Nigeria, the Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibi Mohammed, lent his voice to the discourse of communication scholars and professionals in Asaba.
We continuously work against hate speech, misleading news. That's the position of the DG, and you see it reinforced continuously in our broadcast.
Delta State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, represented by the Chief Press Secretary, Charles Aniagu, affirmed the media must set an agenda in the promotion of patriotism and nationalism. At the end of the two-day deliberations, communication experts adopted these recommendations, which include putting in place institutional mechanisms to check political advertisements.
That National Communication Commission be looked into for possible review.
The theme of the 5th Annual Conference of the Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria is Media Narratives, Hate Speech, Fake News, and Political Stability in Africa.
Time now for highlights of stories from the global scene.
Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir has fired all 31 government ministers as he seeks a new smaller cabinet amidst economic crisis. President Bashir decided to have a 21-member government as a way of tackling the worsening economic situation. From Ethiopia comes the report that the leader of a once-banned rebel group has vowed to work closely with the government to stabilize the country and establish the institutional mechanisms for a meaningful democratic political order. Behanu Nega, who just returned after more than a decade in exile, is seen as the most significant opposition figure to go back to Ethiopia since Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed introduced political reforms. Moving on now, the United Nations Chief Michelle Bachelet has proposed the creation of a new mechanism to investigate the atrocities committed in Myanmar. The mechanisms would collect, consolidate, preserve, and analyze evidence of most serious international crimes to expedite fair and independent trials in national and international courts. And the eastern parts of the United States brace for the impact of Major Hurricane Florence as it threatens catastrophic flooding in areas soaked by heavy rain. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said the storm was 625 miles southeast of the British North Atlantic Island territory of Bermuda on Monday. Thanks for being there. I am Uchi Ugochukwu. The news continues shortly.
Many thanks, Uche. And away from the foreign scene, now time to talk sport.